Indeed it is, John. So what's our next segment?
High spots and low shots. My low shot's Fandango. Yeah, easiest low shot I have had to give to date. Yeah, I mean, he really got cheated out of a match, so I really can't hold it against him. But it was against Zack Ryder.
Yep.
Just no. And I'm done. So, Ashton, who's your low shot?
I'm deciding between two people, and I think I'm going to go with Nikki Bella.
Okay.
Because she's still getting all this flack, and all Brie did was make Stephanie even angrier. And on top of it all, on top of all the crap that Nikki Bella is getting shoved in her face and needing to put up with from a kayfabe standpoint, she's still never going to be as over as her sister.
Yeah, that's the real tragedy here, is that you know that they want to build sympathy for Nikki and this and that, but it's just really not connecting. Brie has that connection with the crowd, and they're riding that wave. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for the Nikki heel turn. And then I think as a heel, she'd probably get a nice amount of heat, but hopefully that doesn't flop as well. Otherwise, that just sends the clear message, yeah, Brie's better than you. So,
which she is, so it's really not that big.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, but hopefully it all works out for the best. My high spot, man, I was torn on this because there are so many people you could pick tonight. But you know what? Damn it, this man deserves recognition. My high spot is Dolph Ziggler.
Good for you.
Yeah, beats the Intercontinental Champion in a non-title match. Definitely one of the most over guys in the company because people want Dolph to win so bad. His Battleground Fallout promo from the Battle Royal broke my heart too, Ashton, typical Ziggler. And I'm just like, oh, no, you're better than this. And he goes out and he has a clinic with The Miz. And you know what? Big ups to The Miz, too. I'm really starting to enjoy his matches more under this new gimmick. I cannot lie. I actually look forward to their rematch at SummerSlam, if I'm being honest. So, way to go.
I'm torn on my high spot, John.
I can imagine, dude. A lot of stars emerged from this Raw, so.
Part of me wants to say my high spot is the fans because this Raw was so amazing. Part of me wants to say the high spot is Brock Lesnar because literally all he needs to do is show up and he gets a championship match at WrestleMania or at SummerSlam. But I think that because those two entities didn't actually have any matches tonight, I am going to give my high spot to Paige.
Wow. All right.
Because technically her team won, and she is so much better as a heel.
Absolutely, dude. Completely agree with you on that. I mean, there's certainly no room even for debate. The Paige that we know and love, the vicious streak and everything else has finally arrived. Will that culminate in championship gold at SummerSlam? Time will tell, but I'm enjoying the ride regardless.
Exactly, my friend. So, what's up next?
I think Raw Request, yeah.
There you go. What is it?
Well, like you, I'm torn because the simple-minded aspect of me just wants to be like, make every Raw like this one, please.
Yeah,
and,
please.
Not be too specific. But you know what my Raw request will be? Because I'm inspired by your heat of the night. Do not make this new faction, whatever you call them, do not make them a joke. That is my Raw request. Make these guys look serious. Make these guys look credible. And you know what else I wanted to say? And I'm glad I got a second chance, and I made this my Raw request. Big E has a chance to look like some serious, legitimate muscle here for the group. If Mark Henry and R-Truth and everybody else are just going to stand aside, especially Mark Henry, is what I'm thinking of when I talk about this, Big E can really step into the light as that enforcer, as that guy who just beats people down and he gets his credibility back. I'm not expecting the 5 gimmick, but if Big E goes back to really destroying people and just cutting the promos that we love him cutting, that Big E style of charisma, not taking everybody to church, I could really fall in love with this. Again, Kingston as a heel, I think, has a lot of unexplored possibilities, even though the nature of the heel turn is a bit ludicrous. And Xavier Woods, which is all I need to say about that, because I just love what they're doing with him already after one freaking promo. So I am all in for this. Please, WWE, give them the respect that they deserve. this could be something a lot of fun. So
honestly, dude, I think that it would be freaking genius if the WWE would use the 5-count gimmick on Big E as his version of reverse affirmative action.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not joking. Big E says, you know what? I don't want anybody to overcompensate me just because of the color of my skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to level the playing field for everyone else, because I don't think that I deserve to win unless I can put you down for 5.
Any way to reintroduce the 5 gimmick, which made Big E a freaking rock star in NXT, I'm all for. And then when Big E's done destroying people, the promos Woods couldn't cut about how what you're looking at is the present and the future of what you can expect week after week. And then I'm just curious what Kingston can do with it. Kingston, I think, is the wild card.
The Wildcat is the wild card?
Yeah, the Wildcat is the wild card because he's never been a heel before.
No, ever.
So this is new territory for him completely. Because even Woods, if you've followed him in TNA or this and that, you've seen him be heel. So to me, that only leaves Kingston. I hope it doesn't flop, because he's even said in interviews that fans have asked him for a long time to make a turn. And he said it's something that he's thought about. Well, this is looking like your chance. So I'm very much looking forward to if he can capitalize on it or not. I'm hooked on this angle, if you guys couldn't tell within the context of this episode. So that's my Raw request. But I am really curious to know, after such an exceptional Raw, Ashton, what is your Raw request?
My Raw request is kind of a little bit convoluted, but I'm going to try and articulate it as well as I can. The thing that made Raw tonight feel so special was that there were so many moments that made you go, oh, wow, I don't think that was supposed to happen.
So, like, the spontaneity and the authenticity of it, I guess you could say, or...
Combine that with the fact that for 2 straight weeks now, I have had similar Raw requests asking the WWE to be less formulaic, and the only thing that was formulaic about tonight was that we opened with an Authority promo, which, I mean, really, it was just Triple H, but it's practically the same thing. Other than that, I mean, Bo Dallas wasn't the semi-main event again. We had our freaking Flow Rida concert was the second hour main event, rather than being some big featured thing that they put at the very, very end of the show. I just really, really enjoy, and I think it really just kind of comes down to last night on the pay-per-view Battleground. I even said it was hilariously predictable on live reactions last night. I think I said gloriously unpredictable at one point. So just super predictable. And I think that they might have realized that, because tonight it was very unpredictable. The Miz versus Ziggler. Ziggler won. Zack Ryder versus Fandango. Zack Ryder won. Reigns versus Kane and Randy Orton. Reigns didn't overcome really anything. Orton just walked out and said, screw it. And then it was basically just one-on-one between Kane and Reigns. I feel like tonight the WWE actually put effort into trying to mix it up. And on top of that, but that's not even really what my Raw request is. My Raw request is specifically about making it feel real again. Because with Stephanie McMahon versus Brie Bella, that whole angle feels real. You slap somebody in the crowd, dude, everybody on Reddit was saying Stephanie just assaulted a fan. She's probably going to get a lawsuit on her way now. Or at least she would if it was a fan other than Nikki or Brie Bella. But it freaking happened. She got arrested. Like, I feel like Flo Rida and Heath Slater, their interaction should have had some kind of legal implications if we're talking about this from a real world standpoint. But I can understand why you want to keep that in more of like a kayfabe perspective. But what they did with Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella tonight was magic. That got the biggest reaction of the night, and they didn't even wrestle. They weren't like, and on top of that, they aren't even regular superstars. So even if they did wrestle, it's not like they're people that you would expect to have that kind of reaction, because they don't wrestle normally. Like, I don't even know how to perpetuate what I'm trying to say here, but at the end of the day, what I really think it comes down to is keep the focus on angles that feel real. That's what everybody loved about the Attitude Era, was that everything that happened with the whole Stone Cold McMahon thing, there were parts that got cartoony and over the top, like the freaking hospital bed thing with that was over the top cartoon, that kind of stuff. But there was so much stuff that felt real, like Austin getting handcuffed and taken out of the building for throwing a punch. Like, just certain stuff like that just seems real. I want the WWE. I don't necessarily think that you need to have somebody get arrested every week, because that would be obnoxious and over the top. But just keep on trying to make certain things about each episode feel that real.
I find it hilarious, though I completely agree, for one, but I do find it hilarious that that's your Raw request, and an age that Triple H himself has proclaimed to be the
reality era. Exactly.
And let's stick to that moniker. I mean, let's really live up to that moniker, because these were amazing segments between these two tonight. And I think it shows, to kind of build on your point, Ashton, if I may, I think it shows that even when you have two people that aren't regulars of the product, you know, in this manner, when you're able to suspend disbelief, I don't think the crowd really, I mean, they care who's involved, obviously, but I think when you're able to suspend disbelief, that really suckers them in. Yeah. And then everything else, I think, is just gravy at that point. Okay. And I think we need to get back to that, you know, that suspension of disbelief. I mean, again, you yourself said it. For the past 2 weeks leading up to this Raw, you've been talking about how formulaic everything feels like, and now this was a Raw that had its moments of just really ingenious authenticity.
Yeah.
And it really paid off. So I will happily co-sign on your Raw request. I think that is brilliant. With that said, do you have anything else you want to say about this Raw?
Just hope that they deliver again next week.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So with that said, guys, this has been Raw. This has been TwitWow, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube, discuss on Pweetoff, and we will see you again for our NXT review as former BFFs collide when Charlotte puts up her NXT Women's Championship against Summer Rae. See you there, guys.